And I will say, welcome to Inside the Realtor Studios, interview with industry leaders and professionals in real estate. This year, the Tucson Association of Realtors is turning 100, 1921 to 2021. We are honoring our history by conducting interviews of the past presidents of the Tucson Association of Realtors. We'll learn a bit of history by talking to the experts themselves. Today's past president from 2015 is Nicole Brule Fisher. Nicole is a graduate of the University of Arizona and has worked in real estate, child welfare, and as an educator. Nicole consulted with a local nonprofit housing organization when she created a first-time homebuyer curriculum and taught 8-hour workshops empowering Tucsonans to purchase their first home. It was tremendously rewarding work, and entering real estate as a realtor was her next logical step. Since then, some of Nicole's many accomplishments include 2006 being the first certified eco-broker in Tucson, in 2008 being the first NAR endorsed green designee in Tucson. In 2010, she was awarded Realtor of the Year by the Tucson Association. In 2013, she graduated from the NAR Leadership Academy. And in 2015 was elected president of the Tucson Association of Realtors. Nicole holds the CRS, ePro, Certified Eco-Broker, Green Designee, and GRI designations. Through her commitment to education, Nicole offers the most current trends and higher level of thoughtful expertise and exceptional service to her clientele. Something Nicole says will never change. Let's give a warm Inside the Realtors welcome to Nicole Brule Fisher. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Steve.
You bet. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. It's snowing outside. It's astoundingly beautiful right now.
Only in Tucson, yeah. So, well, let's begin our trip down memory lane with a little bit about real estate before you were president. Where did you first hang your license?
Ooh, I first hung my license with a very small company called Race Real Estate, owned by an appraiser and realtor. And so I had the wonderful experience of sort of observing an appraiser at work and really understanding the appraisal side of things and learning the actual practical application of selling real estate. So those two simultaneously, and it was an incredible just learning experience. And I'm still really dear friends with the owner of that company. She's now just exclusively appraising.
Got out of the dirty real estate business, huh? Okay. So did you stay there long or did you move on pretty quickly or?
I think I was there a couple years, and then I did like a year-long class and kind of got my feet wet with some veteran realtors, and was primarily a really dear friend of mine, Jean Mabry, who brought me over to Realty Executives, and then I was at Realty Executives for some stretch of time.
And did you work alone or were you working with a partner or part of a team?
No, I was alone.
Alone? Okay. And what would you say is your real estate specialty? Do you do more listings than sales or more sales than listings, certain part of town or certain price point?
You know, we do it all. And I probably am maybe 60-40, 60% listings and then 40% on the buying side of things. And we do all over town. And I feel like that really keeps us very connected to the market. And I'll do a $40,000 condo and a multi-million-dollar property. I believe that everybody deserves a good, skilled realtor who's committed to that client. So I adore it all of it.
And are you working in partnership now with family members? Is that correct?
That's correct. My nephew, Nick Vargas, works with me, and he has for the past several years now. And so that's a lot of fun. It's worked out really, really well. My son worked with me for a little while, and he's now a very successful commercial agent. So, yeah.
Yeah, good deal. Well, let's shift over to your presidency. You were in office in 2015, and I know this because Nicole was my elected president right behind me. I was 2014, Nicole was 2015. So we were both operating out of the new building at that point, what they refer to as the new building. It wasn't so new. And let's talk about your CEO at the time.
So my CEO at the time was Mark Lebowitz.
Okay, and the staff that was there. Who was working for Mark at that point? Was that Christine or?
Christine was there, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And so yeah, Christine was there, and yeah, what is the question specifically?
Well, I guess tell me a little bit about the staff on hand at that time. So you had I believe you had a communications director, you had a GAD. What else all did they have?
We had Roger Yoam was the communications director, and GAD was Steve Huffman. Andrea Ballard was the CFO, and Lisa Lopez was there, and we had a bang up Expo that year. Really, really incredible. So
I remember it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. She did quite a job for expanding the size and the reach of that expo.
Oh yeah, it has opened so many doors for so many folks. So that has been an incredible. I mean, so many people look to our expo for how to sort of recreate that in their own markets.
I look forward to its return.
I know.
So how did you get involved in association leadership? What drew you in?
Interesting. So what drew me in is there was a like a weekly bulletin that came out that asked for involvement on sort of the political front within government affairs. And so I reached out and then never heard back. And that annoyed me. And so from there, I began communicating with Sherry Meadows, who was awesome. And she kind of pulled me into the fold. And I did a leadership class, Pathways to Professionalism. And then from there, my involvement just sort of really exploded. I mean, I helped found the Green Committee, and I chaired that for several years in partnership and by myself. I did a lot of that work with Jonna Sotelo Douglas. And then, you know, I was involved with government affairs, and I became an NAR director at some point. And I, you know, just absolutely fell in love with the association and all that the association does for its members.
Did you have a mentor that you worked with or that you looked up to in leadership?
I wouldn't say a particular mentor, although there were several people who were extremely good to me. JT Tigas was awesome with, you know, just sort of being a guide. Bill Arnold was really incredibly liberal with his information. And gosh, who else? I mean, you, of course. You know, I learned so much from you as well. But yeah, those, and I always sort of looked up to Vicky. I mean, Vicky Cox Golder, you know, it has been awesome in terms of her involvement within our association.
And what do you think your biggest accomplishment was when you were president?
And I have to add one more person. My
Oh,
apologies.
sure.
Sue Carton, who
Okay.
always supported me, and she was my broker for a good bit of that time. And she was an incredible cheerleader for me. So my biggest achievement during my year. So there were a couple of things that I'm just extremely proud of. Our green infrastructure at the association is awesome, and it just sort of opens eyes as members come to the association about the different things that they can do, not only with their own properties, but then also parlay that to their clients and their experiences in their own practice. We also did a very successful scholarship to the University of Arizona Masters in Real Estate. development in the College of Architecture and Planning. So that was really incredibly rewarding. So we gave students that opportunity to go to school and then give back thereafter. So
that's nice. Now, you mentioned being an NAR director. Did you have other committee involvement in that at NAR or AAR?
yeah, I did. I had so many wonderful opportunities at the national level. So I served on Land Use, Property Rights, and Environment Committee. I also served on Public Policy and the Meeting and Conventions Committee as well. So I got a lot of different exposure to what the association did. And every time I went to a national meeting as an NAR director, I went into different committee meetings where I was allowed to. So, you know, diversity or, you know, all different types of committee meetings, appraisal committee meetings, just so that I could learn and bring that information back to the members. It was an incredible opportunity, and it gave me such an awareness about what our association does for not just our members, but home ownership and property rights. So it was an awesome experience. And then at the Arizona Association of Realtors, I served on issues mobilization.
Okay. Yeah. Well, any other thoughts about your term in office?
I just had so much fun. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about, as I said, the association and the inner workings of the association. It opened my eyes up tremendously to what we do as an industry for our community, our communities, and it's huge. I mean, we have such an incredible lobbying power, and we do an amazing job with that lobbying power for property rights, for advocating for our homeowners, our consumers, and our members, of course.
Yeah, it's true.
It was very, very rewarding experience.
Well, we're right at the coming up to the end of the interview. Can you believe it's gone by that quickly? But I end the series with 7 quick questions, and 7 quick answers is what I'm hoping for. So, what's your favorite word?
Ooh, it's probably a swear word.
The original show that I patterned this after would have asked you for a swear word. I took that out, but you do what you feel comfortable with.
All right, I will scale it back to probably home.
Okay. And what's your least favorite word?
No.
Okay. What turns you on?
Honesty,
And what turns you off?
dishonesty, and arrogance. I despise arrogance. We're all in this together.
And what profession other than real estate would you have liked to have attempted?
Ooh. What other profession?
What would Nicole be doing if she wasn't doing real estate?
You know, as I get older and I have more patience, I think about being in the classroom, like with little ones. So that's something that's always appealed to me. The other thing I've thought about too is a real estate attorney.
Oh.
So
That'd be a big commitment schooling wise.
yes, and I have thought about law school over the past several years. I don't think I have the schooling. For me, there's always so much more to do when you're in school, and I don't know that I want to do that at this point in my life. I would go in full force. So
Now, is there a profession you're super glad you didn't attempt?
Manual labor.
Okay.
Wouldn't have been very good at it.
Okay.
I'm very uncoordinated physically, so you probably wouldn't want to see me doing that.
All right. Well, in closing, if you could do a shout out with anyone living or not in the real estate community, who would it be and why?
Honestly, I think the person that I look up to the most is probably Sue Carden. Sue has just been incredibly giving of her time with all of us. She has just been she's been a great leader for me, very balanced. I had the benefit of her being my broker and also her being very supportive of my leadership roles. And she's just so calm. And that brings me calm in those moments when we need it. So Sue's been awesome. Thank you, Sue.
Well, wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Nicole. That concludes our interview today. Any last thoughts?
No, thank you for doing this. I mean, I think this is awesome, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate your leadership. I mean, I learned from you being on your heels, and deeply grateful for that. I mean, one of the things that real estate has afforded me is just tremendous relationships, and that is the basis of this business. And then also within our network of professionals, our cohorts. I mean, I've met so many amazing people.
Yes, there's a marvelous community to draw upon. Again, thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.